My first day of being sworn into office here on this assembly floor, the very first bill I filed was a bill to raise the minimum wage with the same number, AB 10. Because I knew it was important to hardworking families in my district and hardworking families in all of your districts as well. But it's been 6 long years since we raised the minimum wage here in California. It's been locked in at $8 an hour when we know the price of rent, of clothing, of food has all gone up during that time. And meanwhile, our neighbors, our neighboring states, the state of Nevada, the state of Oregon, the state of Washington have all raised their minimum wages above California. And there is no evidence, no studies that show that companies are leaving those states or that it has had an adverse impact on jobs in those states. Nevada is currently at $8.25 an hour. Oregon's at $8.95 an hour. And Washington State is at $9.19 an hour with the COLA, and it's only rising to keep up with inflation. But by supporting this bill today, members, you're giving workers in your district the dignity to provide for their own families, to pay their own bills, to put food on the table, not have to rely on any government program. And people say, is this the right time to do this? But in fact, the history of our country shows that the first minimum wage was approved during the hardest of economic times. The Fair Labor Standards Act was enacted in 1938 as part of the New Deal legislation to help stabilize our nation's economy. And this also helps businesses because we all know that when people make more, they spend more. Those extra dollars that they're earning per hour and at the end of each week are going to get reinvested back into our economy, buying groceries, eating at local restaurants, paying their bills, paying their rent. It gets reinvested back into our state's economy. Now, there were some concerns regarding the COLA, the cost of living adjustment in this bill. And my commitment to my colleagues here on this floor is that I'm willing to negotiate that when it gets to the Senate. I made a commitment to all of you, and I'm trying to state that here on this floor today, that I'm keeping my word. We need to get this bill off this floor and continue the discussions and the negotiations regarding the COLA in the Senate. And members, when I authored this bill a few years ago, it was only San Francisco, City and County of San Francisco, that had a local minimum wage ordinance. But since we have not addressed it at statewide level, there's more and more cities and local jurisdictions taking the minimum wage into their own hands. Last November, the city of San Jose voted to put the minimum wage on the ballot and raise it from $8 to $10 with the cost of living adjustment, and it passed overwhelmingly. In the city of Long Beach, they put a local measure on the ballot to raise the minimum wage for hotel workers from $8 to $13 an hour with the cost of living adjustment, and that passed overwhelmingly. And today, the cities of Sacramento, the cities of Los Angeles, of Berkeley, other cities throughout California are all contemplating putting another local ballot because we have not dealt with it at a statewide basis in 6 years. And we all know that this is an issue that is popular with your constituents, with voters in California. We only have to look at other states, like the state of Florida, a conservative state. But when they put the minimum wage ballot 5 years ago with the cost of living adjustment, it passed overwhelmingly in Florida. We're only asking to pass a bill here today to allow the negotiations to keep moving forward, reach consensus, and have a just minimum wage in California that allows our families to provide for their children and pay for the bills, give them dignity and respect. And that's why I'm asking for your support on this bill today. Let this bill move forward to the next step in the Senate. I ask for your aye vote, members.